And welcome to another episode of Jael Explains It All. Tonight is a story time night because for some reason, this seems to be the kind of content that you all want to hear. And I don't blame you. I have told you many times my life resembles art. And I'm not just saying it because it's poetic or beautiful. No. If it was a movie, it wouldn't be one movie. It would be 5 movies back to back. And so today I am going to tell you a story that I have never told you before of how I sold my Twitter account to the state of Israel. Take it away. Oh yes, you heard that right. I didn't stutter. I sold my Twitter account to the government of the state of Israel. And you know, when it comes to this topic, there are 2 very clear camps here. One camp would consider this story to signify that I am an ally, like I am a supporter. And on the other side, some people will think that this is akin to admitting in public that I have signed a pact with the devil. And I'm okay with both of you. Like, you're all welcome to watch my video. I take no position. I'm not signifying myself at all. And I think we can all take away very important life lessons from this thing that happened to me. All right, so let's start by the beginning. How did I sell my account to a government? All right, this happened a long time ago. I was in my early 20s and I was living in Miami Beach. And I had a fabulous life full of fabulous people. And I met a very strange and interesting man, an eccentric, if you will, whose name was Israel. He was an older man and we kind of hit it off. He liked me, I liked him, we started dating. And when he found out that I was Jewish, I thought that I saw, like, from the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of a faint smile, a little grin, so faint it was almost imperceptible, but it was definitely there. Like the corners of his mouth had definitely curled up a degree or 2. And so back then I was very much identified with my Jewish identity, and so I thought, oh boy, I hope this doesn't mean this is an anti-Semite. So I kind of asked him, like, why are you smiling? Are you smiling? Why are you smiling? Is it funny? Do you have a fetish? Like, what is going on here? And he told me, like, the answer he told me, I could have never predicted in a million years. He told me that he had a DM from Bibi Netanyahu in his Twitter account. Yeah. Turns out Bibi Netanyahu spoke perfect Spanish and had written him a direct message through Twitter. Here's the message he received. It says, "Hola, por favor, ¿puedes enviarme un correo electrónico a..." And I blurred the email address that he... I mean, it even had like the accents, like Spanish, perfect Spanish, by the way, perfect Spanish. I was surprised. So, you know, he told me, like, he was also surprised that he had received this message and he didn't know what to do with it. And so I was like, what do you mean you don't know what to do with this? When you get a message from a prime minister, you answer, like, what is going on? Like, what is this about? And he didn't think it was the best idea. I think he didn't want to complicate his life in any way, but I was like, let's do this. This sounds like fun. And so we replied. And here's what happened. It turns out they wanted to buy his Twitter account. You see, this guy was very tech savvy. He was one of those people who adopts everything early. So he was probably user number 16 on Twitter.com, and he managed to snag his first name as a handle. He had managed to snag Israel as a handle. The only problem was he had to open a different account later because that account, like, people were confused and they thought the account belonged to the country. And so he was caught in the crossfire of people hating on Israel and people defending Israel, and his mentions were insane. The account was basically unusable. So he had parked the account and he wasn't really doing much with it. He wasn't paying attention to the account. It was just sitting there. He had to open a secondary account so that this didn't happen. And Bibi Netanyahu apparently wanted to buy the Twitter account from him. They would have circumvented him. They would have gone over his head. The only problem was, according to the terms of service of Twitter, they couldn't just take the account away and give it to the country because the guy's real name was Israel. His actual name was Israel, so he had a reason. He wasn't just occupying. He wasn't just like buying random countries' handles on Twitter and just parking, himself there. It was his actual name. So he had to willingly accept selling the account in order for this to go down. So we wrote to the email that was provided to us, and some Israeli dude answered, and he wanted to talk on the phone, and I did as intermediary between the Israel, the man, and Israel, the country. And they wanted to meet in person at the consulate, at the Miami consulate. And they were being a little bit standoffish at first, but when they realized that I was Jewish and I was his girlfriend and I was willing to be present at the meeting, I think they got way more confident that this was going to work out. I suppose because it required a little bit of, trust, because he had to give up his handle and give them his password, and I don't know, things could potentially go wrong. So, yeah, so the fact that I was Jewish was like, they kind of calmed down, I guess. So anyway, we went to the consulate, and the people from the Israeli, media handling team, I don't know, showed up, and we had a talk with both the consul and these people, and we agreed on a very interesting and nice sum for the account. We were very happy with the sum, and and it went down, and it was very quick and smooth and painless. And he didn't really need to sell the account. He had, he was very well-to-do, and he didn't really like getting into taking weird paths that diverge from your usual day-to-day life. But I wanted to sell the account. I wanted to sell it, so I pushed him to sell it. So he sold it, and it was a good experience all in all. But things didn't finish there. That was not the end of the story, because we didn't sign the non-disclosure agreement, and neither did they, you see. And here's where things start to get more complicated. But in order to explain to you what happened, I need to give you a little bit more context. So, who was this Israel man? Israel the man. Israel the man was a very interesting character. He had moved to Miami. He was Spanish, and he had moved to Miami because his grandfather owned a hotel in Miami and had died and left him quite a fortune, actually. So he went to Miami to manage all of the aftermath of his passing away. And before his grandfather died and left him, whatever, he had actually made something out of himself on the side. So he had managed to create one of the most famous websites in Spain, which was basically his blog. So he had a blog that was very, very famous, and he was like a celebrity. Still is kind of like a celebrity in Spain. So in his blog, he posted many kinds of things. The blog started because he painted, and he did incredible, hyper-realistic paintings, and that's how he became popular online. He would post pictures of his paintings. But then, as his blog became famous, he started adding all kinds of content and all kinds of things that interested him, like clothing or a movie that he liked. And he really liked boobs, I suppose. I mean, it's not all of that uncommon in Europe. It's not like in the US where there's a very strong puritanic strain and people are very like a naked figure is still something shocking. In Europe, it's much more normalized. So, for example, in Spain at the time, one of the most famous magazines was called Interview, and it was basically a bunch of articles and things of interest, and then a famous person from TV or something would volunteer to actually have a photo shoot naked. And this was normal. This was not like something shocking. It was just, they sold it at newsstands. And so his blog was kind of in the same vein. He had nudity and he had interesting articles and he had pictures of the things he bought or did or whatever. And then he went to Miami because of all of this that I'm telling you. And then we met and we were dating and this Twitter thing happened and we thought this was the end of it, but it wasn't. Because somehow somebody tipped the news outlets in Miami that this deal had gone down. And he got called by all of them. All of the news outlets were like looking for him and trying to get an interview with him. And he didn't want to have an interview with anybody because he doesn't like that kind of stuff. So he didn't accept any of the interviews. But this did not deter the news outlets from publishing the story in the most salacious terms you could possibly imagine. Like, they said he was a pornographer, and that a pornographer sells his Twitter account to the state of Israel. It was like, honestly, and they used like his name and last name and like almost like his passport number. Like, it was all on display, and they were like taking pictures out of context from his blog where there was like nudity, and they were like making zooms into the boobs, like pornographer is selling his And all of a sudden, and even like his face, like it was plastered all over the news. And now all of a sudden, he went from being like a painter who had a blog, who was famous in Spain, to somehow a pornographer who, like, I don't know, shot pornography in his apartment. I don't know, the craziest, sketchiest thing. And so that's what happened. And this thing, and it's incredible how like how desperate news outlets are for clicks, that they will like take the craziest detail of somebody's life and make it a completely different story. So I have the video of that, and I want to play it for you just so you see like how crazy it got. It's 2 minutes long, so
social networking site and a porn website.
Hold on. You need to listen to this. I hope you can hear it.
A popular social networking site and a porn website. Yeah, I know. It sounds like a bad joke, but believe me, it's all too real. NBC Miami's Adam Cooper staying live on Newsroom.
Wait. The guy says, literally, it sounds like a bad joke, but it's the real deal. No, it isn't. What are you saying? No, it is not. Like, listen, I want you to listen.
Select a popular social networking site and a porn website.
A porn website.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like a bad joke, but believe me, it's all too real. NBC Miami's Adam Cooper staying live in our newsroom tonight to explain how opening up a Twitter account has really paid off for one South Florida man.
Yeah, Kevin, I'm with you. So a rabbi, a priest, and I'm just kidding. It's not one of those jokes. This one's actually much better. It's a story that at the center of it, there's a negotiation the Israeli consulate here in Miami never in their wildest dreams imagined happening.
We've taken a greater interest in social networks and new media.
By the way, like the shady face of like the Israeli, like the person they interviewed from the Israeli consulate or whatever, did you see his face? Like, he looks like such a shady character. He looks like a mobster or something. Can they pick people that like have a little bit more charisma on screen? Like, look at this face. Look at this face. It's like somebody who's going to like sell you a used car that is going to break apart like the second you turn your key. Like, dude, you're supposed to handle Israel's image. Like, what are you doing?
We've taken a greater interest in social networks and new media.
Israel recently wanted to step up its game on Twitter. Problem is, the name @Israel was already taken by, of all people, a man in Miami who runs a Spanish porn site.
He had all right to take Israel at Twitter because it's his name. It's not like he was conquering some names and then trying to make a quick buck.
So Israel, the country, contacted Israel and scheduled a meeting at the Israeli consulate in Miami. Ofer Bavli is the consul general. He headed up this most unusual negotiation.
It's almost like exchanging hostages, right?
Oh my God! Oh my God! Sounds like exchanging hostages. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you listening to yourself? Like, do you want to? Are you trying to make your country look even worse? Like, what are you doing here? What is your plan? What is the end game? Wait. We need to listen to this again.
It's almost like exchanging hostages, right?
It's like exchanging hostages, right?
Melendez first had to give up his Twitter password. Then the state of Israel checked it, determined it was legit, and only
Ooh,
then
finger in
did the man get paid.
the
That was
mouse.
an exorbitant price, but we paid him what was fair. I think he was happy with it, we're happy with it, and we can finally start Twittering.
Melendez is currently out of the country and did not respond to our email about the price. But one internet report said it was 6 figures.
So anyway, that's the story, Morning Glory. That is how I sold my boyfriend's Twitter account to the state of Israel. I hope you enjoyed this crazy story, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.